Look at you trying to cover up. You're gonna cover up his ears. It's not your ear. Let me know you're about to blow.
About to blow. All right, y'all. Song and praise today as we stand and face Jerusalem. God be taken from the 76th song. Give me a hallelujah when y'all got it.
Yeah.
In Yahudah is Elohim known. His name is great in Yashrael.
His name is great in Yashrael.
And Salem also is his tabernacle.
And Salem also is his tabernacle.
And his dwelling place in Zion.
And his dwelling place in Zion.
There break he the arrows of the bow.
Where break he the arrows of the bow.
The shield and the sword and the battle, Selah.
The shield and the sword and the battle, Selah.
Thou art more glorious and excellent than the mountains of prey.
Thou art more glorious and excellent than the mountains of praise.
The stout-hearted are spoiled.
The stout-hearted are spoiled.
They have slept their sleep.
They have slept their sleep.
And none of the men of might have found their hands.
And none of the men of might have found their hands.
At thy rebuke, O Elohim of Jacob,
At thy rebuke, O Elohim of Jacob,
both the chariot and horse are cast into a deep sleep.
both the chariot and the horse are cast into a deep sleep.
Thou, even thou, art to be feared.
Thou, even thou, art to be feared.
And who may stand in thy sight when thou art angry?
And who may stand in thy sight when thou once
art angry.
Thou didst cause judgment to be heard from heaven.
Thou didst cause judgment to be heard from heaven.
The earth feared and was still.
The earth feared and was still.
When Elohim arose to judgment,
When Elohim arose to judgment,
to save all the meek of the earth, Selah.
save all the meek of the earth, Selah.
Surely the wrath of man shall praise thee.
Surely the wrath of man shall praise thee.
The remainder of wrath shall thou restrain.
The remainder of wrath shall thou restrain.
Vow and pay unto Yahuwah your Elohim.
Vow and pay unto Yahuwah your Elohim.
Let all that be round about him bring presents unto him that ought to be feared.
Let all that be round about him bring presents unto him that ought to be feared.
He shall cut off the spirit of princes.
He shall cut off the spirit of princes.
He is terrible to the kings of the earth.
He is terrible to the kings of the earth.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Right. And when they would come, they said to him, Master, we know that thou art true and carest for no man, but thou regardest not the person of the man, but teachest the way of Elohim. True, is it lawful to give tribute to Caesar or not? Bear with me one moment. And one of the scribes came, and having heard them reason together, and perceiving that he had answered them well, asked them, which is the first commandment of all? And Yahshua answered him, the first of all the commandments is, hear, O Yashrael, Yahuwah our Elohim is one. Shema, Shema. and God. One more time, y'all. Shema, 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 Yashrael, Yahuwah, Eloheinu, Echad. Hallelujah. All right. This is Shabbat. This is Shabbat. Oh, that's too fast. Somebody start off. Start off. I think that's the beat. Yeah, Shabbat. Y'all. They gonna...
I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is Shabbat that God has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is Shabbat. This is Shabbat that God has made.
One more time. Do it.
This is Shabbat. This is Shabbat that God has made. That God has made. I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it. This is Shabbat that God has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is Shabbat. This is Shabbat that God has made.
We off in Sirach 20, if I ain't mistaken.
Sirach. Ecclesiasticus.
Ecclesiastes.
Yep. Right.
All right, Ecclesiastes chapter 20. There's a reproof that is comely. Again, some man hold his tongue, and he is wise. It is much better to reprove than to be angry secretly. And he that confess his fault shall be preserved from hurt. How good is it when thou art reproved to show repentance, but so shalt thou escape willful sin. As is the lust of a eunuch to deflower a virgin, so is he that executes judgment with violence. There is one that keeps silence and is found wise, and another by much babbling become hateful. Some man hold his tongue because he have not to answer, and some keep silence knowing his time. A wise man will hold his tongue till he see opportunity, but a babbler and a fool will regard no time. He that use many words shall be abhorred, and he that take to himself authority therein shall be hated. There is a sinner that have good success in evil things, and there is a gain that turns to loss. There is a gift that shall not profit you, and there is a gift whose recompense is double. There is an abasement because of glory, and there is that lift up his head from a low estate. There is that buy much for a little, and repay it sevenfold. A wise man by his word make himself beloved, but the graces of fools shall be poured out. The gift of a fool shall do thee no good when thou hast it, neither yet of the envious for his necessity, for he looked to receive many things for one. He give little and upbraid much. He opened his mouth like a crier. Today he lend, and tomorrow will he ask it again. Such an one is to be hated of Elohim and man. The fool said, I have no friends. I have no thanks for all my good deeds. And they eat my bread and speak evil of me. How oft and of how many shall he be laughed to scorn? For he know not of right what it is to have. And it is all one unto him as if he had it not. To slip upon the pavement is better to slip with the tongue. So the fall of the wicked shall come speedily. An unseasonable tale will always be in the mouth of the unwise. A wise sentence shall be rejected when it come out of a fool's mouth, for he will not speak it in due season. There that is hindered from sin. There that is hindered from sinning through one. And when he take rest, he shall not be troubled. There is that destroy his own soul through bashfulness, and by accepting a person's overthrow himself. There is that for bashfulness promises to his friend, and make him his enemy for nothing. A lie is a fool blot in a man, or foul blot. A lie is a foul blot in a man, yet is continually in the mouth of the untaught.
That's deep.
A thief is better than a man that is accustomed to lie. But they both shall have instruction to hear it. The disposition of a liar is dishonorable, and his shame is ever with him. A wise man shall promote himself to honor with his word, and he that have understanding will please great men. He that till his land shall increase his heat, and he that please great men shall get pardon for iniquity. Presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise, and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove. Wisdom that is hid, and treasure that is hoarded up, what profit is in them both? Better is he that hide his folly than a man that hide his wisdom. Better is he that hide his folly than a man that hide his wisdom. Necessary patience in seeking Yahuwah is better than he that lead his life without a guide. So Rock 20, if you don't want to be a fool, you see the example here.
Right. And how we have to be accountable for the words that we say out of our mouths. But that last verse, it said, necessary patience in seeking Yah is better than he that lead his life without a guide. That's what man do. He lead his life without a guide. He go by whatever he feels, and that's what it is, instead of seeking the Father, his guidance, being patient.
Be free, poet.
All right. Hallelujah to that reading.
Hallelujah.
Right.
No, actually, it's up pretty good.
Huh?
It's up pretty good.
Yeah, I'm right in the back of it. Anyway.
What's that?
Yeah.
No,
No, it's good. It's good. All right. Baruch Shabbat, everyone. Good to see y'all here. Good that we got started at a very nice timely time. This is our first live broadcast from YouTube. So we're going to be trying to do YouTube every Shabbat now for the foreseeable future. Since our old form is extinct, for lack of a better word, okay? Now, for those who have never seen the Spirit of Yah study class, I'm speaking primarily to the YouTube people. You know, as a Hebrew Israelite congregation, most of them, especially the ones that we see on YouTube, and You know, we're used to just about every time we do a lesson dealing with Israel. Okay. Here at the Spirit of Yah, we rarely do lessons on Israelites. Is that right? Huh? Rarely do we do lessons on Israelites. You know, we'll do our regular Black History Month. We get in depth with it. But throughout the course of the year, we're more concerned about what thus says Yah. That's why it's called the Spirit of Yah, and not just Hebrew Israelites. Okay? We don't have to be reminded of Israel being a chosen priesthood nation of Yah, because at this point, we have not proven to live according to that which we were ordained to be. But what's more important than that is the Spirit of Yah, what thus says Yah. The whole dynamic of Israel is secondary. But listening to some Israelites, you would think that was first and foremost, the most important thing ever. No. What's more important is what the Father has for us to teach the people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. No, every Shabbat I'm going to come up here and be like, man, we Israelites. We the apple of the Father's eye. We this, that, or the other. You know, the fathers have done something with us for the past 2,000 plus years that have showed otherwise. Because of what? Because of our wickedness. So we are really no better than anybody else at this point until the Father redeem us out of this that we're in. But until that, those who the Father has called to take up the banner of his covenant, that's what we need to teach. Righteousness and how to become part of the family of the Most High. Okay? I'm saying all this to say that today, though, we are dealing with Israelites today. Today's lesson is Israelites, the same yesterday, today, but prophetically not forever. That's what we're going to be dealing with today. All that we're going to be reading most of there's a thing that we understand about how to identify Israelites based off of the curses that he had put upon his people, as it said in Deuteronomy 28:46, for a sign and for a wonder upon thy seed forever. But there are attributes that we share with our ancestors. And that's really what we're going to be focusing on today, y'all. So we're going to kick this off, and I'm going to take my time today, y'all. So sit back, relax, open up some thinking caps, but we don't just read and think. Let the Spirit, the Ruach, do what it do. Deuteronomy, the 31st chapter. Deuteronomy 31, that's where we're going to start off. All right, we're in Deuteronomy 31st chapter. And we're going to start this off at the 14th verse. And just in case people don't know it, because it's always good for understanding sake to know exactly what's going on at the time that this was written. We're in the we're at the end of Shemaiah, and Shemaiah, aka Moses. But just like we don't call Yashua by a slave name, we ain't calling Shemaiah by his slave name. Okay? But this is the end of his ministry right here. He's addressing Yashrael before he take his leave. Okay, so we're in Deuteronomy, the 31st chapter, and before we step foot into the promised land. Deuteronomy 31st chapter, verse 14.
Deuteronomy 31, 14. And
Y'all those names sound better than me. I got Go ahead.
Yahuwah said unto Shemaiah, behold, thy days approach that thou must die. Call Joshua and present yourselves in the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may give him a charge. And Shemaiah and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation. And Yahuwah appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud. And the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And Yahuwah said unto Shemaiah, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go a whoring after the idols of the strangers of the land, whether they go to be among them, and will forsake me, and break my covenant which I had made with them.
So it's important to understand that even before we step foot into the promised land, that the Father began. The Father, we could say he was being prophetic, but the Father just knew this people. Because up to this time, we had been called stiff-necked, hard-headed on a daily basis. On a daily basis. So he's like, look, I'm going to tell y'all something, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell y'all, because everything about the Father making a covenant with Israel should have been a glorious, happy, just a celebratory type deal. But it just was never that way with us. From day one, it was always something crazy. The day that he made a covenant with us, he couldn't even do what he wanted to do because he had to tell Shemaiah, look, go on back down that mountain, man, because I'm about to kill somebody today. That's not a good way to celebrate this day that's going to happen to a people that no other people got. But yet, our wickedness showed up on that day that we supposed to be rejoicing. So here again, he's like, Shemaiah, your time is over. You're about to go sleep with your father. But I hate to tell you, it's kind of like the same way when the father spoke to Abraham in Genesis 18 chapter, say, should I hide from Abraham this thing I'm going to do? I'm sure you probably said the same thing. Should I hide from Shemaiah this thing is going to happen? I'm pretty sure it was the same type of deal, but guess what? Shemaiah, I hate to tell you, you're going to sleep with your fathers, and these people, man, I'm going to cry thinking about it. These people that you have gave your life for over and over and over again, have taught them for the past 40 years. These same people that have been trying to kill you for 40 years, guess what? They just ain't gonna do it. They just ain't gonna do it. We wear Israelite on our sleeve all day long, but we can't do what the Father desires for us to do. And that's what he had to tell him. Man, hold up.
It's all right.
Verse 16 again.
And Yahuwah said unto Shemaiah, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and his people will rise up and go a whoring after the idols of the strangers of the land.
He didn't say they might do this. He said this is what they're gonna do. They're not gonna respect this covenant. They're not gonna respect this priesthood that they have that should last for eternity. They're not gonna respect this wisdom that is given to them, that all the other nations gonna look at them and be like, wow, this is a wise and man, this people.
It's all right. It's all right.
He said they will go a whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land. And that's where we are right now. Wherever they go to be among them and will forsake me and break my covenant which I made with them. Go ahead.
Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them.
This people here, does this people wherever we are, does it look like the Father has hid his face from us? Yeah. Bro, does it look like the Father has hid his face from us? Name a city in the 48, the 50 yet to be United States and show me where we are, where it looks like the Father has hath not hid his face from us. Hath hid his face from them. It said, they shall be devoured. This is the people devoured. Like I said, Isaiah 42, I don't even think I got this in this lesson. I need to bring that in there. Where it said, this is the people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes and hid in prison houses. Who that sound like? Huh?
That's us.
Okay, I got to read that. But anyway, it says, they shall be devoured. And many, he didn't say little. Well, I should say it the way Paul said, and not a little. Many shall evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, are not these evils come upon us because our Elohim is not among us? Go ahead.
Verse 18. And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they shall have wrought, and that they are turned into other idols. Now therefore write ye this song for you, and teach it the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths, that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. But when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that flow with milk and honey, and they shall have eaten and filled themselves and waxen fat, then will they turn into other idols and serve them and provoke me and break my covenant.
Right. Anything that the Father has given us, y'all, we cannot just take that for granted like our forefathers did, man.
Right.
We need to understand that the Father, even in these last days now, is doing a work among his children right now. We are the children of these ancestors that caused us to be living in a whole doggone country that don't even belong to us. Where we are to this day still not citizens of this country that we're in. But we done got so used to it that it's like, oh, it don't even matter no more. Or it matters to everybody else, it don't matter to you because you have lived generations in this situation, this predicament. And any advancement that you got, carnal or whatever, seemed like a come up to you. But you still lack the knowledge of who you are. You still lack the knowledge of who the Father is. You still lack the knowledge of the Constitution that was given to us as a people. Our entire heritage, you still lack it. And when you lack those things, you are 3/5 of a complete human. Because nobody else lacked those things. Nobody else lacked those things. A whole people being called by names that don't even belong to them. Come on. Okay, where we at?
21.
Okay.
And it shall come to pass, when many evils and troubles are befalling them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness. For it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed.
And it's talking about the seed that was in the land then. Oh, it's been forgotten out of our mouths after all these generations. But go ahead.
For I know their imagination which they go about, even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear. Shemaiah therefore wrote this song the same day and taught it to the children of Israel.
All right, we're not going to go over that song right now, but he done already gave us an epithet even before we were dead. Before we even started walking as a nation, the epithet was already written concerning us. And the Father didn't make us like that. He knew that. Let me ask y'all, why do you think that we inherently got this condition? I've mentioned this before.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question, but it's a real good answer when you think about it. When you think about it, it's a real good answer. Anybody need any clues?
He called us stiff-necked, hard-headed.
Yeah.
But we were stiff-necked and hard-headed even when Shaul, we wanted a king. And
Oh yeah, the whole dynamic of being stiff-necked, huh? But there's a good reason for that, though. I ain't gonna say a good reason.
I'm trying to go back so I can see.
Well, I'll give y'all the one clue. Sin, but I'll give y'all even a specific clue. Job. I don't want y'all to get too deep. Just think about the story. Job. See, Job is a representative of us as a people. Remember, the Father is gathered with all the sons of Elohim, and Satan come up among them. Father first addressed Satan, where you come from? Up and down, to and fro the earth. Okay. Satan, have you considered my servant Job? See, we represent, Job was a representative of us. Satan ain't concerned about everybody else. Everybody else belongs to him. He controls the nations of the earth. There's not a single nation on this earth today that are obedient to the laws and statutes of the Most High. And right now, that's what we do. We had this conversation. We talk about, man, where can we go? Because COVID is being mandated. Where it's not being mandated. Oh, I mean, we do. I have this conversation right now, you know. But at the end of the day, the Father controls everything. He controls everything.
And then he said, the sole of our foot, we wouldn't be able to go nowhere and find peace.
Hey, and we still here.
Yeah.
And when you go to that next place, it's going to be the same thing. That might be a relatively better situation, but you're still a second-class citizen wherever you go.
Right.
It might be worse situation. But the point of the matter is, so the point that I'm getting at is that Satan is always, I should have gave y'all another clue, right? The other clue would have been Peter.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, David told me when I teach a lesson, when he said, get thee behind me, say not, and then he had to remind Peter the second time.
Right.
Man,
So
Peter,
you're saying the mindset.
wait, hold up, wait, real quick. Satan had desired to sift you like wheat. Right, but that's us. What was you about to say?
So you're saying our mindset is like this because Satan is always on us.
Always on us. He was on us when we was a nation, and it got that much worse when we're in the captivity to the nation.
Even in the beginning of time with Adam, just because we're not like the angels.
And he made us lower but better.
Right.
Wow.
We're lower from the physical standpoint.
But spiritually, we can operate the same way he operates.
Right, because we were created to rule over the angels. That's what the script says. But the same, so Satan is like, you ain't ruling over me.
Yeah, let me get you before.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you before you get me. It's just as simple as that.
Yep.
We don't think how deep it is, but it's just that.
Wow.
And so when you look at righteous men like Shemaiah and David, they had to fight very hard to withstand Satan, because he was with them at every corner. But how did they withstand him? By really keeping their mind stayed on the Most High. No matter how powerful Satan's deception is, at the end of the day, we make that choice. We make that choice of whether we're going to serve the Father or we're going to do whatever else we want to do. We make that choice. And somebody was just having this conversation. Was y'all having this conversation when y'all just said something about, what did I just hear that? With the Father? Oh, that was Moray Kazak earlier. You was talking about how the Father will turn you over to whatever it is that you desire. He'll turn you over
That's what he did with us.
Right. Right.
We want to go serve them.
Right.
Every captivity. You want to serve the heathen mighty ones, I'm going to turn you over to the
That's
heathens.
right. That's correct.
I'm going to give you what you want.
That's correct. That is correct. But that's what we're wearing right now as a people. Jeremiah, the 5th chapter. I got, well, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I got a little bit here. Don't want to do a part 2. I might have to do a part 2. I think I might have to do a part 2. Jeremiah, the 5th chapter. That's why we don't do a lot of lessons on Israel, man, because I get teary-eyed every time I deal with something related to us. Man, I be liking to laugh and this when I'm teaching and everything. Come come down to us, man. Ain't nothing funny about this.
At all.
Man,
Okay.
Jeremiah 5, y'all. Let's start this at verse 1.
Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 1. Run ye to and fro through the streets of Jerusalem, and see now, and know, and seek in the broad places thereof. If ye can find a man, if there be any that execute judgment, that seek the truth, and I will pardon it. And do they say, Yahuwah live? Surely they swear falsely.
So yeah, so even in our community, man, hey, if there be any that executed judgment, that seek the truth, I will pardon it. But we're just like how Sodom was, man. When Abraham had to pardon with the father for Sodom, like, man, I know I can find 50, 45, 35, 30, 20, 10. He's like, if I could find a man, it's like, man, those that serve the Father even in these last days is rare. It's rare. Every time we see someone of notoriety speak a little bit of truth, man, we lose our mind.
Hmm.
It's like me and my brother downtown the other day. I was looking on the phone for something else. I see Eddie Griffin. Yo, they why on him speaking about whatever he was speaking about. Probably didn't pay attention to what he was speaking about because that garment he had on was tight.
It was nice.
It was.
It was tight. I'm like, man, Eddie Griffin. Yo, hey, why garment white with gold letters. Turn on the back, he got Israel on it. Got the menorah right here. And we like, we like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm
If I had saw some fringes, it'd have been like,
hey, but I'm just saying, because see, just a couple of years ago, Eddie Griffin didn't have nothing to do with this. No, he got the videos. He got the videos. Huh?
When you say nothing, nothing to do with it.
Right. Oh, he got videos talking about the Bible, but there's credits in the Bible. You see, Eddie was part of that conscious community. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was there, part of that whole thing. So the Father hit him one way or the other. It happened. I don't know how, but this brother came with it. You know what? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to make a guess. COVID can do some strange things to strange people.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's what it's intended to do.
yeah.
This COVID have done some strange, it done revealed who we are
Right.
as a people.
Right.
And I ain't even talking about Israelite. I'm talking about everybody. Because you call yourself serve the Most High, but then
I think it affected people that weren't Israel more than it affected it. Because Israel, we say this look like Revelation 13.
Oh, yeah.
They be like, you gotta have this, that, and the other, that, and that. But then maybe it wasn't for us because we know that. But when you see people that aren't Israel, they be like, oh wait, that do sound like.
Right, exactly.
That do sound
exactly. And you know what? I've always said this for years. I wonder what the Jewish people think of this. Well, I'm like, I wonder what the Torah only people think of this. I always said this for years and years. Like, you ain't gonna read nothing like the mark of the beast in the quote unquote Old Testament. But even if you say I'm Old Testament only, you know that mark of the beast is talked about in Revelation. And now you are seeing the beginnings. That's what this is. I ain't saying that this is the mark of the beast, but have we ever been at a time when somebody forced to put something in your body? Ever. The whole thought of being forced to have something put in your body is just beyond comprehension.
Right.
Especially in the land of the free.
Land of the brave and the free.
Home of the brave.
Home of the brave.
Man.
That with like polio and the other.
No.
Polio and
the
other.
They did.
It was
Yeah.
a mandate to get that vaccine.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not familiar with
But
that.
no, I posted that online, and they actually went around and forcibly vaccinated.
Okay, well, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, they forcibly did
So
it.
that's what we're dealing with now.
Right.
But wait, so with the mandate though back then, and I'm only asking questions.
Oh, that
What?
what you get ready to say. Back then they didn't say if you don't get it, you
You
can't,
lose your job, you know, you have to.
you lose
Right.
your livelihood.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right, exactly. That was exactly
That
what I
buy
did.
and sell
We're
wasn't a
we're
part of
definitely-
it.
I mean, I have a mandate at my job right now, so I'm like, no. So I have to go, I'm probably gonna get a blood test to get like, figure out what my allergies are, and then the only thing that really would save you is if you say you're allergic to something. that's not
Right.
vaccination.
Right.
Which I did
So I
actually.
have to do that.
Yeah.
In the coming days or weeks.
Because I think I'm
Make sure
allergic
that
to
I
the
don't
fat,
have
and it
to
has
get
fat in
vaccinated
that.
at my job. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I found that out too, that if you say you're, and I am allergic, I have an albumin allergy, which is eggs, and it's inside my medical record.
Right.
So that's why I don't get the flu shot, and I'm exempt from that. But I'm also, according to my dietitian, I might be allergic to fat, and triglyceride is inside that.
Yeah. So one of the crazy things, though, and like I said, I don't want to be long with it on just that. Y'all know I can do it. But you hear them people be saying, you know, you reject science and you learn your stuff off of YouTube and stuff like that, but you don't respect the medical professionals. Y'all, who heard that? Who heard that?
I've heard it from friends
Right.
on Facebook.
I'm like, wait a minute, is this not true that there are a ton of medical professionals that are losing their jobs
Yeah.
because of this?
Yeah.
In every state, they are losing their job because of this, and you're gonna throw medical professionals in our face like we don't have no sense, like it's us against them.
Yeah.
Come on. Come again, as the Lord here would say.
They still learning a lot themselves. A lot of this stuff is theory.
Right.
Well, that's why it's called
Exactly.
practicing
Yeah,
medicine.
practicing. They get degrees.
Right.
You got to get a degree of understanding.
No,
I mean,
but
you don't
even
understand
after,
it all.
even
Still
after,
practicing.
this still says
You
practice.
got to have a degree to practice.
Yeah, you have to have a degree to practice.
Okay, but anyway,
That's
y'all, I
sad.
don't want to get too deep in that. But
Yeah,
I'm just
man.
saying, though, the Father's word is eternal for those of us who understand it. Where we at? What verse we stopped at?
Do not start.
We didn't. Yeah, we did.
Verse 3.
Verse 3. Okay.
I'm going to start at 2 though. And though they say, Yahuwah live, surely they swear falsely. O Yahuwah, are not thine eyes upon the truth? Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. Thou hast consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction. They have made their faces harder than a rock. They have refused to return. Therefore I said, surely these are poor, they are foolish, for they know not the way of Yahuwah, nor the judgment of their Elohim.
Wow, we are poor and we are foolish. That sounds like a specific people there. Poor and foolish. Why? Because you don't even have enough sense to turn back to your heritage.
Mm.
Poor and foolish. That's what you're going to be. Go ahead.
I will get me unto the great men, and I will speak unto them, for they have known the way of Yahuwah, and the judgment of their Elohim. But these have altogether broken the yoke and burst the bonds. Wherefore a lion out of the forest shall slay them, and a wolf of the evening shall spoil them. A leopard shall watch over their cities. Every one that go out thence shall be torn in pieces, because their transgressions are many, and their backslidings are increased.
Right, and these animals he's talking about are nations he's talking about. That absolutely, you're going to be ruled by a whole other people, and you're going to be torn into pieces. Go ahead, verse 7.
How shall I pardon you for this? Thy children have forsaken me, and sworn by them that are not idols or gods.
Well, no, that are no God, no Elohim.
That are no Elohim.
Right.
When I had fed them to be full, they then committed adultery and assembled themselves by troops in the harlot's house.
That's what we're like. That's just in our spirit. When things are going good with us, man, y'all, man, who is he? I don't need y'all. You know, I worked hard by my own power with the money I got. Man, I got a brand new car sitting up out there. I'm good. I'm all right. Thank you. Thank you. How does sister got a son say thank you next? The sister that's on The Voice. But that's how we are. We definitely take for granted what the Father do for us. While other nations, they rejoice in whatever it is that they had to rejoice after their land, their communities, their language, just everything about them is just like they don't just take it for granted. They live it and breathe it every single day.
Right.
And make sure you live it and breathe it too. We're greater than you, and you should be blessed to be able to parade in this red, white, and blue with us in our nation. Go ahead.
They were as fed horses in the morning.
Somebody like Candace, what's her name? Candace, whatever. She'd be like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What's her name? Candace
Owens.
Owens. Yeah. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
They were as fed horses in the morning. Everyone neighed after his neighbor's wife. Shall I not visit for these things? Say Yahuwah, shall not my soul be avenged on such?
Can you imagine? So the Father look at us like, man, I'm really scared to even bless y'all. Because I know what y'all gonna do the moment y'all get blessed. Y'all not like the other nations that can rejoice in the blessings. Right now, we talked about this the other day about, because you had asked about the birthdays thing, right? Well, we talked about this, and you brought that up. You said how we even had days to commemorate wars that we were in or whatever. And that's what we should be today. We should have a day to commemorate when the Father made a covenant with us in the third month, which is around Easter week, Pentecost. But that's something that we should be reminded of. Because that's the fullness of the Independence Day. Right? Like July 4, 1776 was the physical Declaration of Independence. But then like around 1789 or whatever was when the Constitution was drafted. See, that would be Exodus 19th chapter. See, I could look at another nation and to give you the comparison of how we need to see it for ourselves concerning the Father doing these things with us. But the Father, he's like, man, I'm scared to bless these people because I know when I bless them, it ain't gonna be nothing nice. I used to be in a relationship like that, where using Facebook as an example, that the moment I say something good about my relationship with this sister, I could almost buy a watch. She's gonna crap out on me, make me be like, damn, why did I say that? Okay, anyway, I should have gone.
No, you can't.
Okay.
You're on YouTube.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You say what you want.
Yeah.
Like an efficient car crashed out on you.
I know my pants ain't unzipped because you can't see it. But anyway, we talked about that. Anyway, I better check this. Where we at, man? Where we at?
13.
Okay.
Go ye up upon her walls and destroy them, but make not a full end. Take away her battlements, for they are not Yahuwah's.
You say make not a full end, y'all, because if we'd have made a full end, we wouldn't be here right now, y'all. Can you imagine? The Father wanted to make a full end. Many times he told Shemaiah over and over again, look, man, you got patience with these people, but I ain't got patience with these people. Stand aside, man. I'm about to do away with them. And he kept standing in the gap over and over and over, man. You like, what kind of spirit was in this man that would cause him to do that? If the Father would have did what he wanted to do in the wilderness, probably one of us would have been alive. And that's because we would have been in the descendant of Shemaiah. All that one of us, Zebulon, Gad, Yahudah, we all would have been ancient history. Man, see, I celebrate stuff like that because I know. I look at my people and I know ain't no way these people should still be living. Huh? You think outside of these scriptures and think, ain't no way we should still be alive.
Right.
Simple as that. But go ahead. Verse 11.
For the house of Israel and the house of Yahuwah have dealt very treacherously against me, say Yahuwah. They have belied Yahuwah and said, it is not he, neither shall evil come upon us, neither shall we see sword nor
That's
famine.
one of our problems right there.
Yeah.
We always trying to make ourselves look good when ain't nothing good to look at. To make ourselves feel good about something. I'm blessed and highly favored. Oh, praise the Most High. Get with that all this phony stuff. That's what he's talking about right here. They have lied on me and said, this ain't he. And evil ain't gonna come upon us. Neither shall we see sword or famine. And you are not only experiencing the evil, but you're hungry. The sword is, you hear gunshots every night, every other night. And these are people who making these little false claims. We good for that, man, them false claims. Man, go ahead.
Verse 13, and the prophet shall become wind, and the word is not in them, thus shall it be done unto them. Wherefore thus said Yahuwah Elohim of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them. Lo, I will bring a nation upon you from far, O house of Yashrael.
Again, this are people from back then, but it fits us even today. Go ahead. He said, I will bring a nation upon you from far. Go ahead.
O house of Yashrael, say Yahuwah, it is a mighty nation, it is an ancient nation, a nation whose language thou knowest not, neither understand what they say.
Edom.
Nah,
Edom.
couldn't be.
Huh? That's what we call it, all white people. You're Edom. Huh? Somebody ain't reading these scriptures. Edom would be the last person that this would point to. Huh?
Because we know his language.
Huh? This is just like, it just kind of reminds me of the same thing about them Gibeonites that came to Yahshua. They're like, oh, we come from a far nation. Now, I make this up, but I can imagine. And like, we ain't gonna tell you a name of the nation because you wouldn't know it if you heard it.
Yeah.
But the same thing right here.
Yeah.
This is during Jeremiah's time. They might have knew about Babylon because Babylon was beginning to rise up. Neo-Babylonians, Japhet.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know nothing about the Greeks at this time yet. Javan or Rome, Kittim. They hadn't rose up yet. So I'm not even going to tell you the name of these people. I'm just telling you that this nation from far is going to come and do these things. You don't even know how to understand them when they speak. They come with a whole different language that neither you or your fathers have heard. Ain't nowhere in the world that could be Edom. Nowhere Edom speak the same language you speak. Came out the same womb you came out of, bro. Somebody ain't reading these scriptures. This is what happened when you don't read these scriptures. You start to make up stuff that sound good. Imagine how many of us, if you could just think of a percentage of Israelites aware that buys into that doctrine of the white man is evil. And the scriptures is plain concerning that it ain't. Lo, I will bring a nation to you from far, O house of Yashrael, says Yah. It is a mighty nation. It is an ancient nation whose language you ain't never even heard. Neither understand what they say. Verse 16.
Their quiver is an open sepulchre. They are almighty men, and they shall eat of thine harvest, and thy bread, which thy sons and thy daughters shall eat. They shall eat of thy flocks and thy herds. They shall eat of thy vines and fig trees. They shall impoverish thy fenced cities, wherein thou trust with the sword. Nevertheless, in the old days, say Yahweh, I will not make a full end with you.
We wouldn't be here.
And that shall come to pass when ye shall say, wherefore do Yahweh our Elohim all these things unto us? And shall thou answer them, like as ye have forsaken me and served strange idols in your land, so shall ye serve strangers in the land that is not yours.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. We're talking about us, y'all. He's talking to our forefathers. That was the beginning of this, but it ain't changed. Israel the same yesterday, today, but prophetically not forever. Huh? Like as you have forsaken me and served strange idols in your land, which is my land. Right, right, right. So shall you serve strangers in a land that is not yours. We've been serving strangers for a long time.
I wonder what the Jewish people think when they read this. Fell off.
If you're ever not here, I'm gonna have a button right here. I wonder what the Jewish people think.
Perfect verse.
Well, it is. It absolutely is. Man, come on. Go ahead.
Verse 20.
Uh-huh.
Declare in this house, declare this in the house of Yaakov, and publish it in Yahudah, saying, hear now this, O foolish people, without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not.
Oh, and also he say, I wonder what Jewish people think. I think it's very little wonder why the modern day church that we were engrafted in have told us don't have nothing to do with that Old Testament. Because we're not dealing with that right now. Huh? Yeah, it's for them to do with whatever they want to do with it. Don't even think about reading that. We ain't dealing with that stuff right now. It's a little wonder why we were told that. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 22.
Uh-huh.
Fear ye not me?
Nope, not at all.
Said Yahweh, will ye not tremble at my presence,
Mm-mm.
which I placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it. Though the waves that toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over. For these people have a revolting and a rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone.
Man, he's like, I'm not looking at the flesh. I'm talking about from your heart, deep within your makeup. You are revolting and rebellious. Crazy. And if the priest nation is revolting and rebellious, how do we expect other people to attain the righteousness? Huh? In another place right here in Jeremiah, he asked a question, have a nation changed their gods? No. How can they change their gods if the people of the Most High is not represented correctly? 24.
Need to say they in their heart. Let us not fear Yahuwah, our Elohim.
Fear what? Who? I don't have to fear no God. I love the Lord. I don't fear him. That sounds like some Old Testament stuff. Neither say in their heart, let us now fear Yahweh Elohim, that do what?
That give rain, both the former and the latter, in his season. He reserved unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest. Your iniquities have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you. For among my people are found wicked men.
These are the ministers of Satan that have been planted in our communities, right? Mm-hmm. For among my people are found wicked men. Go ahead.
They lay wait and see that set snares. They set a trap. They catch them boys. As a catching full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore, they have become great and waxing rich.
Oh, yeah, but you think that the Lord God have made you rich, have blessed you with these cars, big houses, jets. That's what you done deceived us and making us think, oh man, the Father is blessed Reverend Dollar.
He's not here.
But he's talking about him right here. As the cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore, they are become great, waxing rich. I had made this comment in one of my videos. I said, yeah, Satan blesses too. If somebody got on me, first, don't bless them. Look, if they only knew, you just don't understand what the Most High
He
is
tried to give a
saying.
blessing to Yashua.
Huh?
He tried to give a blessing on Yashua.
Mm.
Amen.
Right, absolutely. And Yahshua didn't say, not now time, oh, you can't give me this.
No.
That was not part of the debate at all. Not at all. Absolutely. Go ahead.
They are waxing fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper. And the right of the needy do they not judge.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I not visit for these things, said Yahuwah? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this?
Wow.
A wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means. And my people love to have it.
So come on, who does it sound like?
And what will
He
you
said my people love to have it so.
Mm.
And if it ain't enough for me to prophesy falsely to y'all, I got to have my 50-piece choir behind me to make it sound better than I'm gonna make it sound. That's why my people love to have it so. Man, that choir is so annoying. My people love to have it so. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
From top of 31, the prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means. And my people love to have it so. And what will ye do in the end thereof?
Mm-hmm.
Question mark.
Yep. Skip over to the 7th chapter. We're gonna break that down. Jeremiah 7th chapter. See, one thing we have to understand is that over half of what's written in the prophets in the court of Old Testament have not even came to pass yet. People don't even think about that. I want to throw away the Old Testament, which is where the prophets are, but half of the stuff that they're saying hadn't even fully came to pass yet. And a lot of what they say, we're living in it right now. Chapter 7, verse 1.
Chapter 7, verse 1 of Jeremiah. The word.
But hold up for a second. I'm trying to wrap my mind around this reality. You understand? I've been aware longer than I haven't been aware. I'm just making that testimony. So sometimes it'd be hard for me to place my mind back in being unaware. Maybe somebody else can help me with this. I'm trying to understand, where would my mind be reading all these prophecies and passages? Okay, you help me out. Thank you. Go ahead. What you got?
I don't speak for my own.
Right. I want you to.
Right. So I have not been in this walk.
Right. Thank you.
Not.
Yes.
And I went from being raised in the church.
Yes.
And people, even psychologically, if you raise a child up to the age of 8 in something, it's very difficult to pull that mindset or take that away from them. That's their foundation. So we in the Christian, Baptist, Methodist, whatever you are taught early to go to church on Sunday. You're taught early to sing, praises to
Yes.
That is the culture. And you grow up in it, and all the opportunities and, like the Black colleges, everything is leading to Christianity. And that's the foundation. And it is kind of like a lulling kind of, you're asleep.
Right.
You're kind of in a matrix.
Yeah.
When I came out of it,
Right.
it was the Ruach that was troubling me to the point where I was grieved. I would be in church crying. And I wouldn't understand why, because I knew that I was in an apostolic church, but it was like entertainment. T.D. Jakes would show up, all these other ministers would show up, and I knew something wasn't right. because they were basically prostituting the people
Right.
of the Most High. And they would say, I told you this stuff before, but I knew it was wrong, but I didn't understand. I'm like, how is this a pastor? How is this a bishop or an apostle?
Right.
And they're doing these things and saying these things. And so that's what pulled me out of it.
Yeah.
Just my logical brain,
Yeah.
didn't correlate with spiritually what was happening in the church.
Right.
But people really raise up the man of God.
Right.
They were saying they raise this figure up so high.
So basically the difference between you and everybody else is that you took time to read something.
Oh yeah, I read the whole Bible.
Right. See, that's what I'm trying to figure
I read
out.
the whole
Like,
Bible in a month when I first
man,
got the basic
my mind was just draw a blank
Yeah.
though. I'm trying to think. I'm reading all these places, and I'm trying to be like, maybe this is something that has no bearing for today. Maybe that's what it is. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm reading all of these writings in Jeremiah, Isaiah, Daniel,
Yeah.
and I just can't make head or tails of none of this stuff.
I think,
You don't learn that. You don't learn the Old Testament.
Right.
And also-
well, yeah.
I also think it's the reading of it too, which I'm thankful for my pastor at the time, Pastor Gordon. She taught me how to read Shakespearean style, and I think that the translation of it puts a distance between you and them,
That's interesting.
because kids don't really like Shakespeare, and they would go to her when she was a teacher
Okay.
and
That's
ha-
interesting.
and have her read the Shakespeare.
Right.
So when I learned how to read Shakespeare
Right.
and put it into a layman's term that we speak now, it's different.
Right.
It reads like when you read,
Yeah.
it's read different. When I read and you read, it reads differently.
Well, I mean,
read
but
it
even
from a-
then, you still ain't. I mean, don't have no understanding.
No, I think the understanding comes across better because
Yeah.
the these and the thous and I remember.
Okay, so I know what you're saying. What you're saying is that with most of us being exposed to the KJV, which has the old English terminology, it puts that wedge between
Right.
us even
Generational.
making an attempt to try to understand.
Right.
Oh, yes, okay.
All I can think about is Hebrews 4:12. We talked about the word of God within that, the sharpening of the sword.
Right.
When that is something that I hear so many people quote, because they try to make the Bible relevant to what they are today. So they don't want to know the history and understand the history. So a lot of times they say, look it up and see how it relates to you now. And that's what I've heard a lot.
Right. That's
One
good.
chapter, I look at Hebrews and I look at Galatians 5. When it comes to a lot of the churches do not emphasize the commandments.
Right.
Even today, I've seen where a pastor said that Christians do not have to obey the commandments. We just have to love one another.
Right.
And they go back to Galatians 5, all the things that we shouldn't do, and that's all they live by. So Galatians 5 and using the Bible as though it's living and active, reading just to my life. So let me take out things that's related to my life, not about, understanding the Old Testament and New. So they just want to look at how they can change it
You
to
nailed
what
that.
they are.
You
But they're
nailed
not
it.
really reading it.
You nailed it. Oh, you nailed it. She nailed it.
Yeah, you really think about Psalm 111:2. You feel me? You get to understand what's doing the commandment. But guess what? I rightly believe that people just all in all think it's fiction. Because think about somebody been in Christianity all their life. Soon they come out, when they come out of Christianity, they start saying things like, who wrote the book?
Right.
Who wrote the book as if one
Right.
person wrote the book? Or that let me know you thought it was fiction from the get-go, or the white man wrote the book and crazy thing like that. But just like when you came to the truth, how you had to go back into the scripture and read it from a different understanding.
Right.
Because prior to that, you thought it was fiction.
But she nailed it though. She
Yeah.
nailed it. Like I could hear the preachers preach Deuteronomy 28. Kevin, If you don't stay close to this word, man, you're gonna be cursed above all the people on the face of this earth.
Above all above all
Bro, you stay at this church, empty them pockets every Sunday,
everything.
you're gonna be blessed.
I
You're gonna be the head.
She can do
And
together.
everybody else gonna be the tail, man. Y'all gonna have me catch the Holy Spirit up in here.
I heard this one pastor was like, you know, one reason why Jesus not coming back, because you're not giving. You gotta give in order for Jesus to come back.
You gotta pay his way, huh?
That's why Jesus not coming back.
Right.
Because y'all not giving.
Right.
Y'all too broke to see him.
You need that airfare.
Yeah, it's just like bringing an artist up here.
Y'all ain't paying for a ticket. Man, all right. Well, what word you got?
Verse 1, we start.
Oh, we ain't started. I thought we started. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 1. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahuwah saying, stand in the gate of Yahuwah's house and proclaim there this word and say, hear the word of Yahuwah, all ye of Yahudah, that enter in at these gates to worship Yahuwah. That said Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Yashrael, amend your ways and your doings, and I will cause you to dwell in this place. Trust ye not in lying words, saying, the temple of Yahuwah, the temple of Yahuwah, the temple of Yahuwah are these. For if ye thoroughly amend your
I
ways and
think
your
it's supposed
doings,
to be thoroughly.
Yeah.
I spell that way.
Yeah. For if ye thoroughly amend your ways and your doings, if ye thoroughly execute judgment between a man and his neighbor, if ye oppress not the stranger and the fatherless and the widow, and shed not innocent blood in this place, neither walk after idols to your hurt, then will I cause you to dwell in this place, in the land that I gave to your fathers, forever and ever. Behold, ye trust in lying words that cannot profit, where ye steal, murder, and commit adultery, and swear falsely, and burn incense unto that boy, and walking after other idols whom ye know not, and come and stand before me in this house, which is called by my name, and say, we are delivered to do all these abominations.
Oh man, come on. We are delivered.
Oh,
We have liberty.
It's been nailed to the cross. It's been nailed to the cross.
oh man, we can still we can celebrate Christmas and dress up for Halloween.
Man, I was saved to do these things.
The law was done away
What you
with.
say, Kevin? Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. I like that scripture.
Verse 11. That what deliver means, saved, by the way. But go ahead, verse 11.
Verse 11, is this house, which is called by my name, become a den of robbers in your eyes? Behold, even I have seen it, said Yahuwah. But go ye not into my place, which was in Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see what I did to it for the wickedness of my people, Yashrael. And now, because ye have done all these works, say Yahuwah, and I spake unto you, rising up early and speaking, but ye heard not, and I called you, but ye answered not. Therefore will I do unto this house, which is called by my name, wherein ye trust, and unto the place which I give to you, and to your fathers, as I have done to Shiloh. And I will cast you out my sight, as I have cast out all your brothers, even the whole seed of Ephraim.
Right. So he's letting them know, look, man, why am I even saying these words to y'all when all y'all can bear witness of what just happened with the 10 tribes? You'd have thought we'd have been the most righteous people on the face of the earth when we saw our kinsmen according to our flesh being taken far away, going through y'all knows what, and we still here in our land. How do you not be a better people after having seen that? And he had to remind them of that. But now go unto my place, which was in Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see what I did to it for the wickedness of my people, Yashrael. Like they didn't know. Like, and now because you have done all these works, said Yah, and I spoke unto you rather earlier, speaking, but you heard not, and I called you, but you answered not. Therefore, what I do unto this house, which is called by my name, when you trust, we've always, as a people, wore our identity on our sleeve, right? Who that remind y'all of? What's that prophet that remind y'all of?
Jeremiah.
No, we in Jeremiah. I'm
Oh,
surprised.
oh,
Yeah, come on, give it to me.
Jonah.
Jonah. We talk about Jonah all the time.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I am a Hebrew, and I fear the Elohim of heaven and earth.
That's right.
That's what he told them. He told them heathens that. That wasn't Israelites on that boat. He was just an Israelite on the boat. That's what he told them heathens. I am a Hebrew, and I fear the Elohim of heaven and earth. And right after that, it says, and the people fear, it said they fear Yah exceedingly, just because he said that. But he was wicked. He was more wicked than them. More wicked than them. But he wore it on his sleeve, boy. He let you know, man. Y'all laughing, y'all crying to y'all gods and everything. I'm just chilling. I'm asleep, but I'm laughing in my sleep.
Knocked out, yeah.
Hey, I'm laughing in my sleep. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm laughing in my sleep, and y'all sound like straight idiots. Right. Hey, look, man. But anyway, that's the same spirit right here, y'all. Where we at? Whatever we say. I'm saying that because the 14 said, therefore, what I do unto this house, which is called by my name, wherein you trust. So we trust in the house, that great house. We trust in the house that Solomon built, that we pray towards. We trust in. He said that you trust. We trust in all these things, but we don't trust in the word itself.
Right.
Huh? All these little symbols and emblems, right? We walk around wearing fringes, then cursing people out while we got fringes on. Because we trust in these fringes. Go ahead, man.
Verse 16. Therefore, don't pray for these people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, because I ain't gonna hear you. See that now, that when they do in the cities of Yahoo and in the streets of Jerusalem, the children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offerings into other idols, that they may provoke me to anger. Look at that, that's Easter right there.
Yep, so it is.
Do they provoke me to anger? Say Yahoo. Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces? Ooh, this is Jeremiah way before Yahshua, so these things got nothing to do with that. Therefore, thus say Yahweh Elohim, behold, my anger and my fury shall be poured out upon this place, upon man, and upon beast, and upon the trees of the field, and upon the fruit of the ground, and it shall burn, and shall not be quenched. Thus said Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Yashrael, put your burnt offerings unto your sacrifices, and eat flesh. For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Mizraim, concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. But this thing commanded I them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your Elohim, and ye shall be my people, and walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. But they hearken not, nor inclined to hear, but walked in the counsels and the imaginations of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward. Since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Mizraim, unto this day I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets,
Wow.
daily rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearken not unto me, nor inclined to hear, but hardened their neck. They did worse than their fathers.
Wow.
Therefore thou shalt speak all these words unto them, but they will not hearken to you. Thou shalt also call unto them, but they will not answer you. But thou shalt say unto them, this is a nation that obey not the voice of Yahuwah the Elohim, nor receive correction. Truth is perished and is cut off from their mouth.
That's us, y'all. Even
Man.
today. You can stop there. Stop there. All right. Moving right along. Let's go on to Isaiah. Let's go into the other prophet, Isaiah, the first chapter. And I'm going to have I wonder what the Jewish people think your home deserves. Isaiah, the first chapter, Isaiah 1. Isaiah 1 and verse 1.
Isaiah 1 and 1. The vision of Isaiah the son of Amoz, which he saw concerning Yahudah and Yarushim in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Yahudah. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth. For Yahuwah hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children. They have rebelled against me. The ox know his owner, and the ass know his master career. But Israel don't know, my people do not consider.
So you mean to me that animals know better than this people?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Lion is going to be a lion. Now, as long as there's been lions, they still lions, right? That ass is still an ass. Don't even ask. He's still doing the same thing that his father did. But this people do not know. He said, my people don't even consider, even though the truth is right there in front of your face. You don't even consider. Go ahead.
A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahuwah. They have provoked the Holy One of Yashrael into anger. They are gone away backward. Why should ye be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint.
Right. So in other words, that sounds like a diet, right? You continue eating pork chops because mom got an excellent recipe for it. It tastes so good in your mouth. But you can't figure out why you are in the hospital every other week.
You got headaches all the time.
All the time. And you can't figure this out. Why this stuff is happening to you, even right now, even in this. I hate always having to go for it, but the Father brings it for this reason. People are dying because of their diets too.
Yeah.
You know, their diets is causing the pestilence to do what it do. You know.
And what are the doctors doing? Just giving you some pharmaceuticals to cover it up and not change your diet.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And see that right there is the reason why we inherently knew, those of us the elect knew that was not something that we need to deal with, because we knew that if you do your best to maintain this sanctified diet and even go above and beyond it, because I don't care if you got something going on with you, you need to stop eating whatever you was eating prior to this condition that you got. To me, that's like a common sense thing, you know. But like you say, the doctors ain't telling you this.
Yeah.
The doctors say, I got something for you that's gonna let you continue to live the way you want and protect you at the same time.
It's like somebody saying, I want to lose weight.
Correct.
But you're still in McDonald's. You going to the gym, but you're still in McDonald's, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, come on, man.
Right.
Like, you're obese, but you still eating. But you want to go to the gym and work out, but it's like it's not gonna work.
Right. Or you say gym, or you want to take the pills again.
Right.
That's gonna promise you're gonna lose weight or whatever. You still eat. You order number 7 with a big that's the end. I was gonna go there, but I was gonna always say everything else.
Large fry. You know what I'm saying? Give me
Right.
2 apple pies.
And like you
Sunday,
said, and it
and
ends
a
with
Diet
that
Coke.
Diet Coke. That's right. That Diet Coke, boy.
Go get the salad and put ranch all over.
Yeah, I
Put
was
some
just,
bacon in that.
yeah, I was just thinking, actually it was yesterday, or
Uh-huh.
maybe it was this morning, but when I was thinking about pork, I just remember even as a young, as when I was, a little girl, I never, when I thought about like pork chops, I always thought about when it was in our neighborhood, we always had pork and, as our meat of
Yeah,
choice
yeah.
in our neighborhood. So I thought it was like the poor man's, food.
Mm.
And then I didn't think that other people ate it like we did because
Interesting.
that was just something that we only can afford.
Right.
So then they started saying that they started talking about the other white. They started looking at, so I thought everybody else had chicken, when they would get chicken, eat in their neighborhood, and
Okay.
okay. Get pork.
Mm.
Then they started looking at pork as being the other white meat.
They
Right.
got a commercial
Because
with that.
they started having a commercial. So
Right.
then I started seeing that, a lot of other people eat pork like that. I thought people looked down on people who ate pork chops, when we was
Right.
younger. And that's the only
That's
thing that we
deep.
was able to be fed. So now I'm seeing like, well, everybody's eating pork.
Mm-hmm.
So now you start seeing it, and I'm really into watching a lot of the cooking channels. And I like to watch especially, one of the shows that go out into other restaurants to see how they prepare, their foods. And I start seeing what people put in them.
Mm-hmm.
Now you start seeing pork placed in everything. So
Right.
then someone added to it, and they're looking like, oh, that's going to make it better. That makes the food better.
Mhm.
Now it's put in our desserts.
Right.
So it didn't
Right.
being a savory food to something that is into sweets. So I feel like it's been manipulated to everything that we do in order to make sure that everyone, even when we're not knowing that it's in there, we can think that we're eating something that is a vegetable, a vegetarian food. Next you know, and I'm finding they're putting lard in it.
Yep.
And we don't, not knowingly, we're not aware of it because they try to make sure that everybody
When he
is.
said we would eat.
is
I was thinking that. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
Say what?
yeah.
The fried bread.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
they
this is
found a way.
Huh?
bread. It's in the bread too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in the land of our captivity, land of our city too. That's what you're gonna be.
Because I found out like those what is that, like dinner rolls, what is that?
Oh, those
Hawaiian?
Hawaiians.
Not the Hawaiian ones, but people make
Mhm.
homemade biscuits.
Oh, the biscuit. They put lard.
Biscuit, they put lard in
Pillsbury.
it.
Pillsbury.
No, homemade.
No,
Like even the ones
homemade
from
biscuits
Kentucky
that
Fried
you-
Chicken.
you
Oh
put
yeah,
in lard.
yeah.
And like
I know that for sure with Popeye.
And they put a big word on the
Well, they put it in
monoglyceride, so you be like,
Popeye's biscuits.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's not
Pork
recognized.
is everything on that menu. I had a manager tell me that.
What?
Yeah, man, look. Biscuits with that grape jelly and the rice. That was, you give me that, I'm good. Well, I thought I was good.
I think red beans and rice also have pork.
All of
Yeah.
it.
everything.
Everything.
But that dirty rice was woo.
That's probably why
That
it's
was you,
dirty.
huh?
But
I was-
with the biscuits and grape jelly and
Right,
the
right.
rice. Man.
I asked the manager when I was in New York and I worked it, and I asked him, he was a Muslim, and I said, what in here I can eat if I don't eat pork? He said, you can't eat
Nothing. They told me the exact same thing.
nothing.
Nothing. Zero.
He worked there. He said,
Yeah, right. The manager told me the
You can't
exact
eat
same
nothing.
thing.
Yeah. And they got a line wrapped around the building.
Yep.
So what the solution is?
So make your own food.
That's right.
Don't be lazy.
Yep, yep.
Come out from your mom and receive not her plate.
That remind you,
Boycott
that remind me
Popeyes.
y'all used to watch Martin.
Yeah.
What did Barnell Hill say? Biscuits and gravy. I ain't lazy. Y'all remember that?
Fried that leg
Right,
side.
right. Biscuits and gravy. I ain't too lazy. Man. But anyway, go ahead, man. Let's finish this out.
From the soul, verse 6, verse 5, verse 6. From the sole of the foot, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and petrifying sores. They have not been clothed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. Your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire. Your land strangers devour it, it in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by
It's telling
strangers.
you right off the bat, when you look at your country, you don't run it, you don't control it, you ain't even supposed to be there.
Nope.
Huh?
That's
You
right.
ain't supposed to. He said it's desolate as overthrown by strangers. That's how the Father sees desolation. When you ain't there and it's just strangers there, he calls it desolate. And that's what's going on with it right now. But about us, verse 8.
And the daughter of Zion is left, and the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. Except Yahuwah of hosts have left unto us a very small remnant. We should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah.
Man, what if we just understood just that much?
Yeah.
Just that. If you don't understand nothing else, just understand that you ain't even supposed to be here.
Right.
Man, the Father had to leave a small remnant, or we would have been just non-existent. Go ahead. Now you can call us out our name.
Verse 10, hear the word of Yahuwah, ye rulers of Sodom, give ear unto the law of your Elohim, of our Elohim, ye people of Gomorrah. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me? Say Yahuwah, I am full of the burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks or of lambs or of he-goats. When ye come to appear before me, who have acquired this at your hand, to tread my courts.
That's right. We have no problem going to serve the Lord, y'all. That's our thing. Going to church, serving, doing all these things that have nothing to do with Him. Go ahead.
Bring no more vain oblation, man. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and the Shabbats, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with it. It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting.
This 13th verse is amazing how many people don't even understand what the 13th verse is saying. Some people read the 13th verse and be like, see, that's how come we don't have to keep the feast days no more.
Oh, no.
That's what they read this, and that's what they use to say that. Your feast days and all that stuff. The Father say, look, if you don't want, I don't even want to be a part of that. Oh, verse 14. Go ahead.
Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hate. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear.
Yeah, look around. People that don't keep those things, they quote this right here and say, this is why we don't do those things no more.
Well, let's say your new moon.
Uh,
But Leviticus 23 says he is, you got to keep his new moon.
well, see, here's the thing, though. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just that we're wicked keeping it. That's why he's calling it your.
But
That's
that's
what
why
I'm saying. Yeah.
Right.
he qualified it.
But some people think that it is actually some other stuff that we created that made
But
up.
he qualified that 13 said, I can't do away with it. I can't away with it, but it's iniquity.
Right.
He's telling you he can't do away with it because that's how he said it. His word not gonna come back to him void.
Right.
That's how he did it. I can't away with it, but it's iniquity.
Yeah.
But what about, wasn't it something we had talked about once before, and I think it was the Feast of Tabernacle, we had people who were celebrating it, and they were going to the strip club.
Oh, you talking about Sakar?
Yeah.
And,
You're talking about Sakari, absolutely.
Sister, are you married? As in strippers.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, and they got on this right here.
Yeah.
Nice guard. I mean, they had sense enough to put on a White Sox jersey.
A regular, yeah, you got his sprinkles on and all.
Right.
Yeah.
Put on your Raiders cap. Do it up. No, they walking in there with friend Garvin's on the feast day.
Yeah.
On, like you say, on Tabernacle. And you put it on YouTube.
They were brave.
Huh?
They were pretty brave.
Yeah. Man, when we went in the strip club, were we on YouTube?
Nah.
See, yeah, no, we didn't even stream that mug.
They didn't even bring that
They put things.
We said, we ain't there for the strippers. We there to preach y'all the word of God.
You got to gotta give them
Wait a minute,
this.
hold on, wait, let's do it right. We ain't here for the strippers. We here to preach the word of God.
Have mercy.
Have mercy. Oh, there is a God, but go ahead.
He heard my cry.
Man, can't make it like this. I want to go.
Kitty my heavy,
The
bro.
Lord is my shepherd. He knows what I
Oh,
want.
when I want, man, go ahead.
15. And when you spread forth your hands, I will hide my eye from you.
Yes.
Yea, when you make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood. Wash you, make you clean, put away the evil of your doings from before my eyes. Cease to do evil. Learn to do well, seek judgment, relieve the oppressed, judge the fathers, plead for the widow. Come now and let us reason together. Say,
Y'all know that's about the third time we done read that. Y'all know that when the Father tells us how we need to deal with those less fortunate than us. This is the third time we read that. Wow. Father's serious about that thing, y'all. Go ahead.
come now and let us reason together, say Yahweh. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. If ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land. But if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword. For the mouth of Yahweh has spoken.
Jeremiah had told them that when he say I sent my prophets early rising up, they was giving us the option of what we need to do so that we can stay in the land. But we never think that, man, we ain't gonna be out of this land. All I know is all I'm ever gonna know. Man, but the prophets rose up with the name of Yah right inside of them, teaching these people, rising up early. And all they want to do was just give them feedback. But go ahead. I see I'm going to have to do a part 2, y'all. But go ahead. That's cool.
Verse 21. How is the favorite city becoming harlot? It was full of judgment, righteous lodged in it. But now murderers, thy silver is become dross. Thy wine mixed with water. Thy princes are rebellious and companions of thieves. Everyone loves gifts and follow after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither do the cause of the widow come unto them. Therefore said Yahuwah opposed the mighty one of Yashrael. I will ease me of my adversaries and avenge me of my enemies.
I got a whole lesson about this, y'all, how the Father takes comfort in the destruction of his own people. I got a whole lesson that deals primarily with that, about what he, man, and like in Deuteronomy 28, when he said, just as I have rejoiced over you to multiply you and do you good, he said, I will rejoice over you to diminish you and bring you to nothing. Father, man, had no joke, man, that he be like, man, I can't even sleep well until I have did this to my people. That's serious right there. And that's what he says right here. He said, I will ease me of my adversaries and avenge me of mine enemies. Because I done did all this work and to bring you up, to raise you up, gave you the best land among all nations, that even today the heathens want this land. We don't even comprehend it. We all the way over in America, and America's sending them billions of dollars every year, right? The whole nation of Israel over there, the state of Israel, it exists because of this country single-handedly. And we don't think nothing of it. Who's that? That's not what's name? Okay. And go ahead.
Verse 25. And I will turn my hand upon you, and purely purge away your dross, and take away all thy sin. And I will restore thy judges as at the first, and thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterward, thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, faithful city.
Right. That's prophetic, y'all. But again, that's we're the same yesterday and today, but prophetic not forever. Because he said that he's gonna bring us back, y'all. Let's go into Ezekiel 16th chapter. I think we're gonna put a bookmark here at Ezekiel 16th chapter, and we're gonna finish it out next Shabbat. Ezekiel the 16th chapter. Let's pick this up at the 26th verse.
Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 26.
You know what? As a matter of fact, start this off at the first verse. We're close now with this, so we got time to go through this. 16 and 1. Ezekiel 16 chapter and verse 1.
Ezekiel 16 from the top. Again, the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Son of man, cause Jerusalem to know her abominations, and say, Thus said Yahuwah Elohim unto Jerusalem, thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother an Hittite. And as for thy nativity, in the day that thou wast born, thy navel was not cut, neither was thou washed in water to supply you.
Right.
That was not salted at all, nor swaddled at all.
Supple. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. None I pity thee to do any of these unto you, to have compassion upon you, but thou wast cast out in the open field to the loathing of thy person, in the day that thou was born.
They talking about as a nation, y'all. Israel was one of the newest biblical nations of all other people. Everybody else was established before us in terms of the Hamitic and Shemitic people. All of them, that these Canaanite people we were talking about before the end, Mizraim, Ethiopia, Syrians, all of those were established nations, and we were just these people that were slaves in Mizraim. And when we were slaves in Mizraim, for however many years we were there, right? Hundreds of years that we were there. Don't you see, again, I'm putting y'all back in time for people to think about this. What were the Ethiopians thinking about us during this time? What were the Canaanites thinking about us during this time? What were the other nations thinking about these people that the mightiest nation on this earth, Egypt, had building their pyramids, building all this stuff in Mizraim? What were they thinking about these people? The same thing they think about us today. Ain't nobody asking about you, caring about your well-being. You know, well, we're gonna do something different in the past couple of years. I'm gonna buy a t-shirt that says Black Lives Matter. How about that?
Let's have rallies, man.
Huh?
Let's have some rallies.
Right, yeah. But if that's a new thing, Black Lives Matter, the fact that there's a saying called Black Lives Matter should tell us something. It really should. Because that statement should not even be in existence.
Right.
And it's a worldwide statement too. It ain't just America, right? But that's what he's talking about us then at our birth. He said, verse 5, none I pitied you to do any of these unto you, that have compassion upon you. Yeah, we know about them Israelites over there in Mizraim, and the Pharaoh done broadcast out all, hey, you're gonna make bricks without straw. That's funny. It's so funny. Can you imagine over there? They got to make bricks without straw. Nobody pitied you. Right? That's some ancient history for your, you know what?
But that was before
Huh?
we even became a nation.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
That's what I'm talking about. You were a people that was not even a nation.
Right.
What person on this earth is not a nation? not a part of a nation. Have not, if you just not no nation, you just whatever. You just exist, live and breathe to serve me, basically. Go ahead. Oh, serve whatever nation that you are in. But none pitied you. Read that 5 one more time.
None I pitied you to do any of these unto you, to have compassion upon you, but thou was cast out in the open field, to the loathing of thy person, in the day that thou was born. Verse 6, and when I passed by you and saw you polluted in thine own blood, I said unto you, when thou was in thy blood, live. Yea, I said unto thee, when thou was in thy blood, live. I have cast you to multiply as I have caused you to multiply as the bud of the field, and thou hast increased and waxen great, and thou art come to excellent ornaments. Thy breasts are fashioned, thine hair is grown, whereas thou was naked and bare. Now when I passed by you and looked upon you, behold, thy time was the time of love, and I spread my skirt over you, and covered thy nakedness. Yea, I swear unto you, and entered into a covenant with you, say Yahuwah Elohim, and thou became mine. Then washed I you with water. Yea, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from you, and I anointed you with oil. I clothed you also with broidered work, and showed you with bands of skin, and I girded you about with fine linen, and I covered you with silk. I decked you also with ornaments. I put bracelets upon thy hand, and a chain on thy neck, and I put a jewel on thy forehead. Ooh. Dang, who's
For real.
Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Come on, we ain't gonna be all day on that one there. Go ahead.
And earrings in thine ears, and a beautiful crown upon your head. Thus was thou decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen and silk, and broidered work. Thou did eat fine flour and honey and oil, and thou was exceeding beautiful. Thou did prosper into a king. And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty, for it was perfect through my comeliness, which I had put upon you, say Yahuwah Elohim.
Uh-huh.
But thou did trust in thine own beauty.
That's us, y'all.
So
that's
did
what we do. Trust in our own beauty.
Of Israel, that's right.
That's right.
And played the harlot because of thy renown, and poured out the fornications on everyone that passed by. His it was, and of thy garments thou did take, deck thy high places with divers colors, and played the harlot thereupon. The like thing shall not come, neither shall it be so. Thou hast also taken the fair jewels of my gold and of my silver, which I have given you, and made to thyself images of men, and did commit whoredom with them, and took thy broidered garments and covered them, and thou hast set mine oil and my incense before them. Mm-hmm. My meat also, which I have.
Just a man, we're talking about what?
Say what?
When you talking about images of men, and we had
Michael Jordan.
Ooh, so you went somewhere else, but
I was thinking something different.
What was you thinking of? But
I'm not opposed to that.
I'm not opposed to that either.
But I was thinking something that you get out of the adult stores.
Oh yeah, okay. Now you thinking about something.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know what? I ain't gonna go there, but it's a fact of idolatry.
Yeah.
Because the Father don't have an image. He didn't give us something to look at that we can make and say this is him.
Yeah.
Right? But we did just what other nations do. Yeah. But in present time, I just can't hate about that Michael Jordan thing, man. Because I remember I was shocked. But it was weird too, because now I ain't gonna lie though. That ain't something I used to hear about us. But anytime I was around Gentiles, he's a God. He's a God. I would hear them say that over and over and over again. Right? And but you were here, you don't think nothing of it. But then when you understand that the reality of how they perceive it, than back in the day.
The goats.
The goat. Oh yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, wow. I didn't think, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 18, 19. My meat also which I give you, fine flour and oil and honey, wherewith I fed you. Thou hast even set it before them for a sweet savor. Thus it was, said Yahweh Elohim. Moreover, thou hast taken thy sons and thy daughters whom thou hast born unto me, and these hast thou sacrificed unto them to be devoured. Is this of thy whoredoms a small matter, that thou hast slain my children and delivered them to cause them to pass through fire for them?
Right. He said, these are my children. I know they came out your womb, but man, when I gave y'all my laws and statutes, I command y'all to teach it to your children and your children's children. And now y'all are breeding a whole nation for a whole people of wickedness. That's sad. Go ahead.
And in all thine abominations and thy whoredoms, thou hast not remembered the days of your youth. Thou was naked, bare, was polluted in thy blood. And it came to pass after all thy wickedness, woe, woe unto you, say Yahweh Elohim.
I like how they do that in another place where he's speaking, and right in the middle of a sentence, he's like, he's thinking to himself, man, y'all just don't know. It's another place he can say things like, man, y'all, I wish y'all could hear this. But go ahead.
That thou hast also built unto you an eminent place, hast made thee an high place in every street.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Matter of fact, on that eminent place, skip to verse 31.
So, okay, in the eminent place, and that thou build thine eminent place in the head of every way, make thine high place in every street, and has not been as an harlot, and that thou scorn higher.
Right. Yeah, well, we don't even ask to get paid for it. We do it for free.
Yeah.
Link ourselves with every single spirit of all these other nations. Because everybody else got something good. We only come out of nothing, pretty much. Go ahead.
But as a wife that commit adultery, which takes strangers instead of her husband, they give gifts to all
That's
whores.
what they do.
But thou give thy gifts to all thy lovers, hide them, that they may come unto you on every side for thy whore.
Wow, we are. You're going to say we contrary, but go ahead.
And the contrary is in you from other women in thy whoredoms, whereas none follow thee to commit whoredoms, and in that thou give a reward, and no reward is given unto you. Therefore thou art contrary.
So you mean tell me that in all the places that we live in, with all these different churches, we're not benefiting at all from these churches at all. So we're giving them all of our glory, everything we got.
Yeah, and then they go to other countries and then they give
Yes.
to them.
Yes,
Oh, let's go to Israel.
right.
Remember that commercial back then
Mm-hmm.
that they wanted to have them, pay sponsor people to go back to Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
Mission trips. and
Mission
stuff.
trip.
Uh-huh. Wow. Go ahead.
Oh Lord. 34, 35. Yeah,
Y'all would be
right.
turning the TV and y'all be watching it'd be a church come on. And it might be a Gentile church or whatever. How many of y'all watching long enough to see how many of us be there, stick to the audience and sit in the choir?
I mean, the gang of us.
uh,
The gang of us in there.
but we there though.
Yeah.
I'm saying we there. We gonna be represented. If we the only one, we gonna be there. But go ahead.
35.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore, O harlot, hear the word of Yahweh. That said Yahweh Elohim, because your filthiness was poured out, and your nakedness discovered through thy whoredom with thy lovers, and with all the idols of the abominations, and by the blood of thy children, without being given to them. Behold, therefore I will gather all thy lovers with whom thou hast taken pleasure, and all them that thou hast loved, with all them that hast thou hated. I will even gather them round about against you, and will discover your nakedness unto them, that they may see all thy nakedness. And I will judge you as women that break wedlock and shed blood, are judged.
Okay, skip down, sorry. Skip down to verse 42.
So will I make my fury toward thee to rest, and my jealousy shall depart from you, and I will be quiet and will be no more angry.
Father, I'm telling you, man, he like, man, you just don't know. Until I do what I need to do with y'all, I am not gonna rest. Go ahead.
Because you did not remember the days of your youth, but has fretted me in all these things. Behold, therefore I also will recompense thy way upon your head, say Yahuwah Elohim, and thou shalt not commit this lewdness above all thine abominations. Behold, everyone that is used proverbs shall use this proverb against you, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter. Thou art thy mother, thou art thy mother's daughter that love her husband, loathe her husband and her children. Thou art the sister of thy sisters, which loathe their husbands and their children. Your mother was an Hittite, and your father an Amorite.
Mm-hmm.
And thine elder sister is a Samaritan. She and her daughters that dwell at thy left hand, and thy younger sister that dwell at thy right hand is Solomon, her daughters. Yet hast thou not walked after their ways, nor done after their abominations, but as if there were a very little thing, thou wast corrupted more than they in all thy ways.
Right. So all them done perish and going about their business, and you worse than they are. Go ahead.
As I live, say Yahuwah Elohim, Sodom your sister have not done. She nor her daughters as thou hast done, thou and thy daughters. Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister, Sodom. Pride, fullness of bread and abundance of idleness was in her and her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. And they were haughty and committed abomination before me. Therefore I took them away as I saw good.
Okay, skip down to 53.
53, when I shall bring again their captivity, the captivity of Sodom and her daughters, and the captivity of Samaria and her daughters, then will I bring again the captivity of thy captives in the midst of them, that thou may bear thine own shame, and may be confounded in all thou that hast done, and that thou art comfort unto them. When thy sister Sodom and her daughters shall return to their former estate, and Samaria and her daughters shall return to their former estate, then thou and thy daughters shall return to your former estate. For thy sister Sodom was not mentioned by thy mouth in the day of thy pride, but before the wickedness was discovered, as at the time of thy reproach of the daughters of Syria, and all that are round about her, the daughters of the Philistines, which despise you round about. Thou hast borne thy lewdness and thy abomination, say Yahuwah. For thus says Yahuwah Elohim, I will even deal with you as thou hast done, which hast despised the oath and the breaking the covenant. Nevertheless, I will remember my covenant with you in the days of thy youth, and I will establish it to you an everlasting covenant. Then thou shalt remember thy ways and be ashamed when thou shalt receive thy sisters, thine elder and thy younger, and I will give them unto thee for daughters, but not by the covenant. And I will establish my covenant with you, and thou shalt know that I am Yahuwah, that thou may remember and be confounded, and never open thy mouth any more because of thy shame, when I am pacified towards you for all that thou hast done, say Yahuwah Elohim.
All right, hallelujah. Did y'all understand most of that we read?
Yes.
Huh? All right, well, this is part one of Yashrael saying yesterday, today, but prophetically, not forever. We'll be picking this up at Shabbat. The Father had a lesson for the reading of His word in Yeshua's name. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Right, right. Anybody got any questions, comments?
That was a great.
Oh, wow, hallelujah. Beyond will, the Spirit is well on part two. That's Shabbat. So, till that time, we're gonna close out and stand and face Yahuwah. All right. 12.